Welcome to all of the English speaking people in our M3 room. Okay, so I promise that I will make a video in English in regards to this lottery play that I intend to call in the room in the future. So basically, this was a move that happened, I believe it was on Thursday. But the main key is um, this past Thursday. The main key is this 3:30 time frame. Okay, and basically I am comparing. There is time that we want to do a lottery. What does that mean? A lottery play. Okay, a lottery play in the options market. Okay, so what does that mean? That means that on that day, if you made money in the futures market and there's this potential of a big bounce, right, or a medium bounce, this is 121 points bounce towards the end of the day at 3:30. So we would want to capture this and take a full advantage of this in the future. Okay, and how do we do that? Basically, we would do a lottery play. And that lottery play is okay, suppose you risk max $50, right? It's a lotto, right? The odds of it working, it's unknown, right? And it's a lottery. And this at this point right here, the options are very cheap. And if they do an explosive move here like this, or even half of that, okay, our return on this max risk and total risk of $50, let's say, is going to be incredible. So let me do some comparisons for you. Okay, so here's the comparison. So if we were to invest $100, which is one MNQ contract, let's say we got lucky and we bought it right here and we held it all the way up to the top. Okay, that is a 121 point run. Okay, so our return on that trade is about $242. So over 200% return. Yeah, based on the money we invested, right? 200% plus return, right? We invested $100 per contract, correct? So, anyways, there are times that we want to take advantage of that. Instead of in the futures market, we take advantage of it in the options market. Okay, in the options market. And basically, we are just buying either puts, very simple, puts or calls. Okay, and we're going to hold it to expiration or closest to expiration. We don't care if we win or lose. Obviously, we always care, but my point is that our risk is capped at $50. So if we lost money, we don't really, it doesn't affect our life, right? And it's a lottery, right? But if we win and if the move is big, potentially the outcome is going to be pretty good, for example. Okay, so let me do that comparison. Suppose we just risk, I made a boo-boo here. Okay, so instead of $50, let's just call this we are going to risk $100 in this comparison. Okay, so if we do that on NQ, we made $240. Okay, now if we were to risk that same $100 and we caught the option at the bottom here, which is at this point where the NQ is, okay, and we held it to the top on the QQQ, that $100 will return 2,897%. So that $100 will turn our $100 investment into 2,897%. Obviously, this is the max, right? Right, because we would have needed to hold it all the way up to the top. Okay, but this is the ultimate potential, right? So at the time, one contract of the QQQ cost you $7. So $100 we would be able to buy roughly what, about, I don't know, about 15 contracts, right? Okay, so we could have scaled out, scaled some out here, some out here, some out here, and some out here. Does that make sense? Okay, now if we were to compare that to the SPX, for example, that same move, okay, this is what's happening on SPX. If you invested $100, okay, you would have returned 20,000 plus percent. So that $100 would have made you 20K in a matter of 15 minutes. Does that sound insane and totally crazy? Absolutely. Okay? And if you look at this, the bottom right here of the SPX, it was $5 a contract. That's a steal compared to $7 on the QQQ. Okay? Now, if we were to compare that to the SPY, okay, that option was like around $8. Okay, $8 per contract, roughly. Okay, so if we were to invest $100, on this move, same move, right? On the SPY, for example, we would have returned 5,200%. So that $100 we invested would have brought back $5,200. Now, here's where the discrepancy and the knowledge of option and option pricing comes into play. Now, think about this. It costs you $7 a contract, and the return is $2,800, right? And the SPX costs you $5 a contract, and the return is 20,000%. And SPY costs you about $8 a contract, and the return is 5,200%. So in this instance, which symbol or which option would you choose? I mean, it's a no-brainer that this is price totally. There is a discrepancy in terms of the option pricing. It's clear. It's 100% clear, because normally the SPX is about 3 to 5 times more expensive. So this option should have been, you know, in the $40 a contract range, but it was mispriced. Okay, so that's another piece of information. Okay, when we're observing the option market, and it takes a keen eye to see that. And also, this move right here, right, this big move right here, I guarantee you, if we were to go back and look at the order flow via some of our tools, we would have seen massive aggressive buying, just massive. Okay, and the options market, sometimes they are a little bit behind. For example, this move right here, the option might have moved like a little bit slower, but then it explode. But we already saw the explosive move in the order flow, right, via some of our tools. So here is another way of taking advantage of the option pricing discrepancy compared to the market movement and the order flow in the marketplace that we can actually see. Like, meaning the option is slower to price in that movement, but we already saw in the futures order flow that the aggressive buying is kicking in. Okay, so this is the video about, in the very near future, I will be calling out these lottery setups. Okay, mostly, probably, I would say maybe between 3 to 5 times a week, and we would be looking to take these plays, these trades, between the time of 3:30 to about 4 o'clock. Okay, and this is an anomaly, right? We don't get a 20%, 20,000% move, every day. Does that make sense? I mean, we may get a move like this maybe about 7 times a year. Okay, 7 times a year. Most of the time, we probably get a between a 50% to 100% move, right? Most of the time, I would say. Okay, and then there's about a 20% of the time, you know, we get 100 to about 500% return on these lottery. Okay, so that is the new setup and a new trade calls that we will do in our M3 room in the future. So get your option account ready and to take advantage of some of these moves at the end of the day. All right. Thank you so much.